too low.
Okay.
This is a little bit better, see?
Gotcha.
And make sure he stays in focus with the red. See this? Make sure he's red.
Okay.
Oh yeah, y'all lucky. Well, he took me down, and then I did a reverse, and then I took his back, and he popped his head up.
That was it.
I could see his line. 1, 2, mic check. What's going on, block? You trying to have an issue?
Test 1, 2. Okay, let me. All right. Okay. Okay, do me a favor, make sure if it's over there that it's on silent, anything. Yeah. Right. All right. All right. All right. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I guess that's the best quality we're going to get right there. 720. Okay. It's all good. Okay.
A chair. Yeah, because he's a little low.
Excuse me.
You can bring the chair. You can bring the chair.
When I say cue the video, is that going to work? Okay. Yes. All right. Are they going to be able to hear that? The people in the audience? All right, great.
What about see the video? Yes.
All right.
So, you gotta do the focus. You see how he's off of focus?
Yeah.
It's right here. This is the focus right here. See? It's a red. And this is in focus.
Okay.
And just kind of make sure it's even. If it acts all funny, you see that button in here, like a gun button? Hit that 2 times and it goes right back into the middle.
Okay. All right,
But don't shoot over here. So when you're looking for the
The
audience,
highest
come over
calling
here.
back is I am. Send me up with the mannequins.
Deacon Byron, come up here. You have to try. Okay, I got you. Yeah, we want couples up front.
I gather us. Are you gathering Israel?
One, two.
Everyone has a mic? What about Elder Lawya? He's good? Great, great.
1, 2, 1, 2. Let's test mic check 1, 2.
All right, all right, all right. In Colombia, Ruben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. You know what you're doing on that camera, young man? Yes, yes, yes.
Nah, I did it
He
before.
from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the house of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Simeon, the Dominicans, a highest gathering in Israel. Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is the first time the elders of the Gathered of Christ Church at the Tabernacles or any other place did a live radio broadcast. Right? Search Engine International. Man, do we got a good broadcast. And of course, with this broadcast this evening here at the Feast of Tabernacle, we'll also be opening the discussion to our brothers and sisters in the body who've been baptized in the name of Yeshua along here on the East Coast here at the Feast of Tabernacles. Give it up for yourselves for being a part of this. And see, and that's why I asked you, young man, you know what you're doing with that camera. When I'm talking to the audience, right, the people are saying, who's the audience? You're the eyes for those who are listening and seeing. So I'm going to do it again. For all the brothers and sisters that's here in the congregation, is here, who will participate. And I know how it is. I know what it is, and I'm not coming down here. That's the only time I'm going to direct you. But the whole thing is, everybody, the most of us here in this work are used to Elder Rawchaa and Lawya and the elders being on one side, and you're just sitting there like this, taking things down and making sure you're not missing anything, certain precepts, good points, saying, you know what, I should think the same thing. But today, brother, you are not a student to today. All right? Anything that you need to understand, you got the power to have that video for yourself. But right now, you're the eyes and ears for the world. Understand that. So that's the duty of a cameraman right now, and I thank you for your righteous duty. Now, today. All right. Now, for those who want to get in on the discussion, and it's a shame that I'm not able to right now make the volume loud enough so everyone can hear it, but what I'll do is, since I have them on my computer live on Blog Talk again, when the callers call in, what I'll do is I'll put the microphone.
That's not how it's supposed to.
Lord have mercy. What was that? That would sound like somebody's baby. What's going on over there? Anyway. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Well, going back to what I was saying here is that when it comes to, what was I saying? Yeah, thank you. So when it comes to the blog talk, we're going to have them call in, and I'll put the microphone so that those on YouTube and others here can hear their insight or give their perspective and commentary. And I hopefully it'll work with me putting the microphone in front of the speaker here. But all in all, our broadcast today is a timely broadcast, and it will be on the back of a discussion we had months ago. The split between the man and the woman. All right? Like, why can't we see eye to eye? And hopefully I don't have to dump any uppercuts or pocketbooks up in here. But I'm not going to make any personal references or opinions on what I think this evening. It's all going to be through the spirit of unity, because that's what the tabernacles are about. This week of us dwelling in booths, getting to know each other, coexisting with each other, knowing that the Most High will soon make this the norm. And I was saying that because, Gaja, tell everyone what you said about the tabernacles in Jamaica last night while we were together at the studio. What did you tell me about the tabernacles?
Yeah, shalom everyone. How you doing? Nice to be here. No, I was saying to Elder that we looked at the camp.
Don't cover the mic. Yeah, I'm a microphone connoisseur.
We looked at was looking at the camp setup with the tents, and I was like, yo, it looks nice. And the brother said to me, yeah, man, we've gotten better every year. And I was like, wow. And it dawned to me. You with me? Like it clicked to me that every year, like I remember 2014, 15, we did tabernacles in the UK, and brothers couldn't even light a fire. The first time we got there on the campsite, brothers couldn't light a fire, brothers couldn't put the tents up. Now, better tents, more organized. I give you an example, like even last year when I was here last year, the campsite that we had wasn't as good as this one. So it's like every year we're looking for better stuff, we're looking for it to improve. So I was saying, it dawned to me when the brother said it to me, I was like, you know something? The most I said that we should do this every year, generationally, and teach the children.
To our children, exactly.
So it clicked to me that, you know something? The Most High has been preparing us from then that every year it gets better. The generation teaches the other one. Yeah. Because it's preparation for something. Something is coming and we're going to have to do this. Now, the children of Israel dwelt in tents when they came out of Egypt. And it wasn't just coming out of Egypt. When Claudius expelled them out of Rome, when you read Acts the 18th chapter, Paul and Aquila was building tents. You with me?
Yeah, so how did they know how to build tents? The Feast of Tabernacle.
Exactly.
They're experts. But go on.
Exactly. So they were experts at doing it. So I'm seeing every year we're perfecting it. It's better each year. Better setup, better order.
It's becoming the norm.
It's becoming a normality. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, someone said, well, when are we going to teach the culture of Israel? And we're teaching the traditions of Israel within the academy this year. But I want to say this, folks. It's one thing about teaching the Bible. It's another experience in itself, living the Bible. Whole nother experience. How more can we understand what our forefathers been through and what they had to endure if the Most High is saying, I'm going to make this a commandment each year. I don't care if you have a house. I don't care how well you're living. I need you to feel what Moses and the Israelites felt, what our people felt coming out of Egypt for those years. Because one thing about a people who have no home, and understand this, he wants to remind us we're not home, that we're wanderers. It's not time to get comfortable. We're only pilgrims in this earth. We're just visiting. So he gave us this as a statute year to year to bring in remembrance of us wandering in the wilderness. With him as our substance, our power, the understanding of how to live, when to grow things. It was one with the Most High and being unified as a people together, understanding that in reality, with the Most High, on top of the Most High, we is all we need. And you can only get that by what? By living amongst each other and understanding. And it's deep that all the negative stereotypes that's out there about Israelites. I've never seen a camera or someone come out to witness or film how beautiful it is to congregate amongst many brothers and sisters who are quote-unquote minority or black, where there's no crime, there's no one shooting each other, there's no disrespect. Where is the cameras now? When the righteousness is being ensued or the example of righteousness is being shown amongst our people, it's null and void because this is not the example they would like to portray. And that leads me, this is a segue into our broadcast today. Husbands, wives, and everything in between. You fill in the blanks. But all I know with the Most High in the beginning, according to the Bible, all life and dominion, which is allocated to man, would be through husband and wife. Right? Every man would aspire to have his helpmeet to finish his overall objective and purpose as a man of God, to execute his spirit, right, of power and of bringing equitable righteousness and order on earth. And part of that existence would be finding that person who would help him fulfill that spirit of that male dominion in righteousness on earth. And a woman's aspiration was to be what? That helped me, knowing he can't do it alone. A virtual, or what you would call an actual king and queen, starting from Adam and Eve, which was the beginning of existence, husband and wife. Do me a favor, turn your phones on vibrate or silent if you don't mind, please. So it goes into this husband, wife, and everything in between. I mean, outside of husband and wife, what is there? Anyone? By a show of hands? Give me some examples of what's out there outside of husband and wife. Anything. Come on. Well, children supposed to come from husband and wife. Right? Huh? Well, I'm not even going to go into the alphabet people in the car right now.
Bisexual, C-sexual, D-sexual, trisexual.
Right? I'm not even going to talk. Let's not even talk about that right now.
Life partner.
A life partner. You know what? It's deep that you said that because Gabar. It so happened that I went to look on a dictionary and Googled a dictionary so that I can actually first begin with the definition of husband and wife according to the dictionaries or the definition we knew growing up in school. But now I can't find a dictionary anywhere online that says a husband is a male partner of a female wife. It's been written out of the definition of husband. Wow. It's a husband is a male partner. A wife is a female partner.
You know, even in the registrars in the society, that's taken out as well. Like if you hire a marriage officer, if you hire a marriage officer to do the wedding, he can't say now man and woman anymore. He can't. We had a wedding in Australia, and that was what you couldn't say that. And we asked him why. Why can't you say that? According to the law, they changed it. They changed that.
Well, if you can't say that, buddy, the power invested in you is Satan. Get up out of here. We're getting somebody else up in here. If you can't say that. But go on.
Yeah, so it's not a shock to say that, well, they changed the definitions out of the dictionary with it, you know. Crazy. It's crazy. It's husband and wife and everything in between. Or everything outside.
Anything in between. And here's what's deep, and here's a segue. We're going to use these clips, these pieces as our talking point. There's a sister by the name of Fantasia who I think won or came runner-up on American Idol. You all remember her, and right now the whole world is talking, and I thought I would use this as an example. And also, I'm going to use this as an example to why mainstream media, which is quote-unquote not black media, is not talking about what Fantasia said. Right now, the social media, what you would call streets are hot right now with this topic. So I thought I would bounce off this in lieu of our program or what I wanted to discuss in this academy, dealing with the split between, and I'm going to talk about it again in more detail, the man and the woman, and how profound and how deeply rooted this split is between us. And I'm talking about this split exists even when we love someone and we care for someone. There's still a divide that wasn't there in the beginning. But that divide, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, that spirit was seen and recognized and put under by our fathers, like Abraham. Okay? There was no way Abraham would even think of replacing Sarah for anyone. Or a life outside of Sarah. And vice versa. And see, and that's why even in the music project we got now, one of the key songs is, let's make a nation like Abraham. Where every child that came from the loins of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were supposed to be what? Children of purpose. Children who would value the laws of God and uphold and defend with their life the institution of marriage. See, and that's the reason I'm going to use this girl today, this young lady, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind me using this today. Because guess why this sister is getting so much blowback? She's getting blowback because she said that one of the biggest issues amongst our people right now is that a woman cannot submit to a man. I'm going to play it. I'm going to give y'all, I want to hear your opinion. I'd ask some questions on this. Why would she get negative feedback on that statement? Number one, she's happy. I thought it was okay that why stop a woman from being happy? Well, she's happy. Now, another thing I would like to say is, I would expect, and I started going online and Googling and doing all this to prepare my discussions today and say, well, okay, maybe there's other people out there who are female of other races who have some pushback against what Fantasia said. And that something is wrong with this society because women don't know how to submit to men. Come to find out, I need to ask this question, and I want you to answer this question. Why aren't there white women or people of other races, Chinese women or Asian women or other people out there with negative pushback on this statement? Right? I want to ask this question. And then we're going to move it to the man side of things. The reason why media is really pushing her statements on the Breakfast Club under the rug. Her man is dealing with something that we're familiar with. Now, mind you, this woman received her notoriety as a single mom struggling without a man and needing an opportunity by the system. They promoted her being someone struggling on her own, and she was able to acquire all of her wealth, power, prestige, and all that through this single woman promotion. Right? Her crying on TV, having to struggle without a man, is what everyone related to and voted her and was behind her because she could do it on her own and make it on her own. Now check that out. But now, something else is going on. So, I need you real quick, AC, to play the clip real quick and let everyone hear what this sister said. And then I'm gonna have some opinion on it. I know I'm gonna hear what you elders have to say. And I'm gonna ask some questions out there. Roll the clip for me real quick, if you may.
Generational thing, and we can go real deep on that, and I don't need to start that, but it's a generational curse, and how society have placed our men, and women have to stand up and be the mother and the father and the provider, and so then now you are so bad, you can't be told nothing, that when the right man come, you lose him because you trying to be the man. I was gonna say,
Right.
man.
Can we be equal?
Oh, of course. But see, at the end of the day, I'm the neck, my man's the head. So he can't make any moves without his wife. You know what I mean? It all works together. But you can't be the head of the house. You got to let the man be the head of the house. But it's a generational thing, and it's what we've been taught. To stand up, be strong, be the, you know what I mean? And a dude come and everything.
Now, it's only a couple of seconds of right there. That's all we can play without copyright infringement. Right? But did she say any wrong, brothers and sisters? And if you notice, she wasn't even dealing, this conversation in the context was not in defense of her. It was in defense of her man, if you listen to her clearly. She says, you have to look at how society views our men. It's a generational curse. Where did she get that from? So she's like, with all my power, responsibility, and notoriety, it's upon me. It's upon me to help take the curse off my man and give all the power and prestige and all the notoriety given to me and what was invested in me to help take this curse off of him, being his helpmeet. Now, I'm going to ask, and we're going to start with some of the senior women in our body. Someone said, uh-oh. Hey, I'll tell you what, if you're going to come out, we got to talk about it. Somebody put a microphone over there, and we're going to talk about this. So give the sister the mic there. Okay, we all know. Okay, sister, I'm going to ask you a question real quick, right? Let me ask you a question, sister. Real quick. The seniors in the no, you, sister. Senior members within our body itself. Let me ask you, sister, not whether or not what she said is right or wrong, because we're going into the Bible on that in a moment, right? Why is she getting so much pushback by her own sisters out there?
Well, it's really not what is being pushed in this society. You know, women are on the move now. They are, you know, everyone is feeling like women are really the head, you know, because they're giving them the jobs, especially among our people. This is the way it has been. Even when you get like a contractor that comes to your home, in marketing, they're taught to go to the woman in the household because they're saying that the black woman is the leader of her home, that the black woman is the leader in the house. And so
Okay, but I understand that. But the question is, why should women or anyone feel negative and bring back negative and in response to what she's saying, respond with a negative of what she's saying? Like, what is she triggering there?
Well, she's triggering responses because you're saying to the black woman, or you're saying to women in general, that the man is the head, and that's just not fashionable today. No one wants to know that, except for those, of course, these wonderful people that are here, you know.
Okay. All right, good point. All right, give it to the sister. Give it to the sister. All right. All right. Let's see. AC's father. Get a mic to this brother right here with the beard like wool.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. I got to start with the elders, the brothers who've been working a long time in the work. Right? You can tell us. Why are sisters pushing back at another sister for standing up saying that it's a generational curse how our men are viewed, number one. And on top of that, now, without going too far in it, what she's saying is the world automatically view our men wrong. That our men are stronger than what's being portrayed. And that this weakness that's being portrayed in the media, which it does exist, which isn't what actually defines us. This weakness, okay, is a generational curse we can break as women, black women or women of color, if we submit to that man according to the Most High God. I'm going to ask you, sir, why is this sister getting negative pushback? And I got something on top of that.
Okay.
Why isn't there negative pushback on a hot girl summer? Now, you know I'm going there now. This woman said, right? Submit to her husband. And now everyone now everyone is up in arms as if she said, listen, as if the woman said something heinous or wrong or something damning against humanity. But yet there's no one out there saying, no sisters, where there's negative stereotypes that's bringing down the value of what a sister is. With the hot girl summer, there's no negative pushback for that. You an elder man, give me some insight.
Well, to be honest with you, in my opinion, I think feminism has a whole lot to do with this.
Feminism?
Yes, because basically
put the mic close to you.
Men are demonized, and it seems like the problems of the entire world are blamed that men aren't doing their job, and so therefore they're taking the brunt. Because when I grew up, looking at my grandparents and all that, it was already in that direction. My grandmother never usurped any authority over my grandfather ever, and that never. And it wasn't that he was disrespectful, because he was not. I mean, there was that part of it too. But at the same token, she already, she submitted to it. When, it was dinner time, she had his dinner ready for him when he came home. I mean, all of those things, not that they put any woman down. In fact, as far as he was concerned, that made her a better woman, because of the fact that he could always depend on her to do those things that he can't do at the moment.
Okay. Great point. Now I said I would bring some seniors into play, people who have lived long and give us some wisdom, some insight in this body of Christ, right? Now let me find two young folk who can give us some understanding to why there's some negative pushback with this sister's. Now, guess what? She talked a lot. I'm talking about, it was like she spoke for over an hour on an array of different topics. But yet this one thing stood out and pushed the button of our community throughout the whole earth. It was this one thing she said that got so much negative pushback, is that a woman should submit to a man, right? And then I hear so many people saying, well, if it's the right man, is this man that man? Okay, but isn't that a different discussion? Isn't that a different discussion? What is your responsibility to the Most High? So you're going to be negative off of a negative? Right? What is our responsibility? But I digress. Hey. Okay? Right? So now, let me get a young man and a young woman. Gabar, where's your daughter at? She's in college. She got to be around here somewhere. Do we have anyone in college right now? Okay, give me some people in college. Come on, young man, stand up. You come up for us real quick. Why is there so much pushback negatively on this sister saying that a woman should submit to a man?
Shalom, Elder. Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Outside of what I've heard that's being said, that I've noticed that's being pushed, especially from the youth. So I'm 23 years old in college, and it's something called hookup culture. And that is, not only is that being promoted on college campuses, it's actually allowed, even by professors and everything. So when the idea of rape comes about.
So expound on that hookup culture, so that for those who don't understand, I'm getting old.
All right, Elder. So, okay, so what hookup culture is, so you know, back in the day when a man had multiple girls, it was looked upon as being cool. So now they're saying, what is wrong for a woman to have multiple men? So if she wants to go out and have intercourse that very same night, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And it picked up and it picked up. So now many women's doing it, and it's called hookup culture. So now on a college campus, you could sleep, a girl will try to sleep with you. And all she needs is there's a whole training on it and everything. You need a friend to just take you back to your dorm, make sure that one friend's sober. And
there's training in college for this?
Yeah, when you first go, there's an orientation on like rape. Ask Jenny if I'm lying. It's a training on like rape. They train you on what rape is on the campus. And then they tell you how to avoid rape on a campus. But everybody understands this is because everyone's going out on Thirsty Thursdays, Friday nights, Saturday nights, sober up Sunday, back to school Monday. So the whole reason, yeah.
Lord, I'm glad I wasn't born in this generation. Man, listen, don't you know this is the end of the world, young man? You understand that?
I hear you, Elder. I hear you.
All right.
So that.
Woo!
Come on. Thursday? I never heard of that one.
Thirsty Thursdays. It used to be ladies' night when I came up. And it was classy ladies. They had on dresses and la-la-la. Now there's Thirsty Thursdays. Okay. I thank the Most High that I wasn't born in this generation. Lord, I thank, man, we can take so much for granted. Okay, a sister, one more sister, come on. Come on, you can stand up. You can tell us why sisters, yeah, you in the age demographic we're talking about. Are you too shy for it? Yeah. Yeah, just tell us why sisters are upset with Fantasia saying that one of the biggest problems why sisters are single now is because they don't know how to submit to a man, and eventually the good man walks right by. That's one of the statements she made. No, she's right here, brother.
Yeah, I'm right here. Well, now.
Okay, oh, you got one. Okay, that's fine. Any sister, come on, we can get you later, sister, no problem.
Okay, so nowadays, girls, they're so, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, put the mic in front of you, that's it.
All right, so nowadays, women, they are obsessed with doing what they want to do instead of doing what they told to do. I feel like they're being more free spirit with this hot girl summer thing. Be yourself, be unapologetic, do what you want. and it's not so.
But here's my question, though. My direct question is, why is there negative feedback on that sister saying that a woman should submit to a man? What's wrong with it? What's the negative feedback about?
They don't want to submit to a man, and that's why. They feel like it's wrong. They want to do what they want to do. And that's why they're giving a push-up, like, how dare you tell me I need to do this, listen to somebody else, when I could do what I want to do. I felt that's what.
Okay. All right. Give it up for the sister. Thirsty Thursdays, huh? All right. Here's the part I wanted to go into real quick. Hey, play the second clip because, of course, we need our elders' commentation after the second clip to why now. This is what they didn't want to happen. Oh, you gonna attack me publicly? Is what Fantasia's saying. So she said, well, listen. My man will defend me. My man will defend me. Right? You're not going to attack me publicly, and yet my man going to sit back and allow this to happen. Now check out this sister. Right? You got to get, and guess what? All glory be to the Most High, and I'm going to show you why I'm saying that in a moment. This brother, at one point, was in prison. He got out of prison and turned his whole life around and began to show her how to budget, how to do certain things. You know why? Because the industry find our people in low estate, in the hood, with no business acumen. And by the time their careers are done, you're flat broke. They're banking on you with all that talent staying in a ghetto broke mentality to be utilized by them, the system. This brother stepped in and said, no, you ain't going out like that. Because even though you know how to sing, they know that's all you know how to do. I was on the street, I did this, that, and the other, and I learned business the hard way. And he came out and made something of himself. You see, but this is the part, folks, and I thank the Most High for this moment. This is the part and why they won't talk about this through mainstream media. You know what helped them through all this? The brother found out he was Israel. This, let me tell you, Fantasia tell you in a minute how wild she was. You seen it up on American Idol. None of the men in the streets and all that could tame her or do anything about her. And this brother is in defense of her, is about to explain why. He's about to explain why it's okay for a sister to submit. Hey, brother, I need you to play this whole clip outright and let everyone see it. Not just the volume, not just everything, and point it where the people over here can see it too. They want to see it. No, she says she want to see it. Y'all can see? Okay, well, I can't see it. It's okay. Go ahead. Play the clip. Play. I'm putting it on y'all. I want to see it.
A lot. I just got home. He just got home. We were in New York for Fashion Week, and then he had to fly out to go speak at the prisons, and I had to continue to keep working. So I went up to the Breakfast Club, and I enjoyed it, and
proud of you too.
thanks, babe. We were just wrapping it up and talking, and I was speaking. Yeah. So when I got back home, he had kind of said something that piggybacked off what I was saying, and I thought it was so dope coming from the male perspective that I felt like the male and the female should hear. So
here's the issue. Submission is supposed to be a beautiful song and dance between two lovers. what's happened is men have abused that power. Forgive me, they've abused that gift. And we have been misled to think that it's something where it's a dominant spirit and we own every decision, we dictate everything, we rule with an iron fist. First of all, that's not love. What happens is, in my marriage, let me not speak for everybody, my marriage, I submit daily to the Most High. I stay in my scriptures. I continue to feed myself with things that help me build my character, to reshape my perspective that was messed up in the streets and dealing with different propaganda and programming and things like that, so that I can come to my wife from a pure position. So when I do that and she sees me and she witnesses over time that it's an authentic demonstration, her heart is moved and softened and compelled to submit to me. What does that look like? That doesn't mean that I dictate every decision. I don't walk around the house saying what we're going to spend, how we're going to do it. We talk and we build. And I consider everything that's on her heart, her perspective, her position, her philosophy. I'll carefully weave that into my philosophy to figure out what's the best move for this family, keeping all of that in mind. Now, the moment I start to step outside of righteousness and I start to move from a place of emotion instead of analytics, she has every right to snatch that back, because submission is a gift. When she sees me laying at the foot of the Father, she has no reason to withhold that from me. The problem is this: men are not found in positions of leadership handling it with integrity. How you gonna lead your wife if you can't balance a checkbook? If you don't know what's going on in the stock market? You don't have a sound understanding of the finances. You can't create a budget. You don't understand what's going on in the educational system in your community that's impacting your kids. In order to lead, you gotta be so far ahead of your family that by the time they come to you with a situation or a problem, you've already dived into it, done your due diligence so that you can give leadership. You don't lead from your genitals. You lead from a gentle place of understanding. And the more she trusts, the more she can let go of things that she don't have to deal with and focus on the things that edify her. It ain't about money. We both hustlers. It's not about a dollar for dollar thing, because we're one unit. If I fall, she falls. If she falls, I fall. Submission is solely about trust.
I think when women hear the word submission, we're like, what? Submitting. With my husband, like he said, to piggyback off what he just said, it was what he demonstrated. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't come in and say, all right, like he said, the budget is this for that, this is and the third. I watched how he did things. I watched how he budgeted. I watched him, and then I slowly became him, and I submitted in that. Now I think I'm more frugal than him, and that's not even being like, gotta be frugal because we don't have it. It's just being smart. And the word, if you dig deep in the word with your partner, you'll start to see a lot of things that we're talking about. But yeah, I like that he broke that down, because I'm a very strong woman. I like what I like. I'm very strong. But when it comes to allowing him to cover and lead this home, I sit back and allow him to do that, and it makes me better. Wow, that like.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want your wife to be humble, walk in humility. If you want your wife to forgive, you be quick to forgive. If you want your wife to consider, following you down a specific path, prove to her that you got the blueprint and that she's not following you to some unknown destination. My wife don't have to follow anything that she don't see me demonstrating. So master the thing before you go out and try to teach it. It's like sometimes you see cats, as soon as they get a book and they read something, they start running trying to teach people on it, but you haven't applied it and gone through the proving grounds of being able to master that information yourself. So leadership is a forward-thinking thing. And when you do that, women's natural instinct is going to be to trust, to be able to submit their hearts. But again, this ain't a dominant thing.
Nah.
And I want my wife cold as me, because if something ever happens to me, she don't like having that conversation.
Say that.
If something ever happens to me, she need to know how to get that bag. She need to understand where the money's at. She need to know how to ask the right questions. I ain't telling you to ask nobody nothing. You tell them what belongs to you. She can't do that if I'm controlling everything. So my wife needs to be a direct female reflection of the man that I am. Facts.
Come on now.
You come on.
I always said the wise woman once told me, the older women used to tell me, stop, boy.
What up?
The woman is the neck and the man is the head. And without the neck, the head can't move.
Two heads is just a head, but see how that works.
So yeah. And I'm gonna end it with this. We ain't perfect, and we ain't trying to be perfect. We still growing. And we just want to share that with all those out there that's still growing and want.
And get clarity. Don't be trying to twist my wife's words up at the end of the day, because I'm proud of her for standing.
They try to do that?
Man, whatever, Tom. At the end of the day, we want to make sure there's clarity to what she said and the understanding, and be able to hear the force behind what she is saying, so it don't get tangled and twisted. It ain't for everybody. Do your thing. But for women out there who truly desire that, and men who want to step up to the call, we just want to take time out, make sure we bring clarity to our demonstration, and hope that it's fruit for you and your lives. And watch how God bless.
Hey, brothers and sisters, you know what deep? You know what's deep that's being overlooked that most people would ignore, even those on Breakfast Club? And is this the phenomenon that the Most High said would happen when we begin to come back to our heritage, realizing we were Israel? That's the answer to family. You notice that? No one wants to talk about that. This is the example. That's the example of Israelites. And I want to put this out there. This is what they fear. Because with someone thinking like this, let me tell you, how can the system continue to use our people? How can the music business continue to just use our people in talent and spit them out and steal everything from them? And now that we have a law that's accountable, that's greater than their law, a God that's greater than their God. And we can now use the power and the talent for ourselves without the threat of being taken from. I need y'all to really think about that. Now, getting this mic straight real quick. Now, of course, I got to take the mic around to the elders and get the elders' opinion on what's happening. And then we're going to go into submission and family, because I'm going to tell you this. Here's the deep thing about this and why I want to talk about it during the tabernacle. While we were dwelling in booths coming out of Egypt, folks, keep this in mind, brothers and sisters, that during the time that we were migrating out of Egypt, Moses and the elders had to decree, because of disagreements and variances between man and woman, he had to put a new law within the law that wasn't given to him. A decree for divorce. Even Christ told those who followed Moses, who understood Moses, in the beginning it wasn't so. But that was written. Moses put that in for the hardness of your heart. How you harden your heart against your other half. How you becoming hardened. How you becoming hardened against your own body. They were in councils to the degree where no business could get done to move the nation. We walked in circles for 40 years, in a circle, dealing with menial arguments and disputes. Here it is, we're trying to move a nation, and Moses and the elders are sitting here listening to an argument between a husband and wife. I don't know. This food is cold. Every time I look, it's cold. What's wrong with her? She should submit, Moses. Like what? Arguing over menial things to the degree where Moses said, you know what? I'm going to decree a law outside of this. If y'all can't stand each other, divorce. Leave us alone with these menial arguments. You two decided to be with each other and to love each other to the end. You understand what your commitment is since our father Adam and our mother Eve was created. That there will be trouble in the flesh. But it wasn't supposed to be a scenario in which we harden our hearts against each other and become enemies. So now it's deep that we're coming back in that same place of tabernacles in the wilderness to mend and to eventually do away with that law that was instituted through the hardness of our hearts. And the only way that law can be done away with altogether, the only way it would have been done away with, was through the blood of Yeshua, the blood of Christ. Okay? So now we're here today on Tabernacles to talk about this. Right? not that split, but husband and wife and everything in between. This is what we need to do now. How do these young brothers and sisters we talk to today aspire for that purpose and that dominion Adam and Eve first had? And how do we, growing as elders, instill that in them again? And I'm saying that because these hot button topics that's out there that should be magnified, okay, to the degree in which when certain things happen like this, you have to understand there's a spiritual paradigm shift that's happening. And when people are getting attacked out there, when this stuff is being talked about, all of us should be standing up in defense of virtue and righteousness. All of us. Right? So now, of course, I got to pass it around to the resident elders. Come on, Elder Lawya. Let me hear what you got to say real quick. Give it up for Elder Lawya.
Well, all right. Thank you. Thank you. I'll share my piece, but I'll initially pass the honors to Elder Gabar. Go on, Elder Gabar.
Okay, I was.
All right.
I was trying to bounce off Elder Lawya, but I guess you go. All praise to the Most High. But I
Give it up for Elder Gabar.
All praises. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. I made a stick from the Bronx.
All right.
All praises to the Most High. I think there's a lot of components, but I think, like Brother Officer Kevin mentioned, feminism. I think they play a great controlled, altering, psyche of our women and men dealing with this feminism. Because you notice that every single time that is mentioned, that the man is the head of the woman, there's silence, it's uncomfortable. Somebody always has to say something like, well, what about equality? Like when Francisco was saying. There's always a pushback.
You mean the other girl that was on the Breakfast Club?
Exactly.
What about being equal?
Right, being equal, right? And so yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying, and that's ridiculous in itself. Because I cannot be equal with a woman. A woman is 100% woman. I don't know how to do that. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Neither can she be equal with me. I'm a man. These are stupid premises.
Right.
That we've accepted. What are you talking about equal? You are 100% woman. I'm 100% man. There's no equality here. There's certain things that you deal with I would never understand, and that you're stronger in because that's your strength in femininity. That's you. You're a woman. I don't want to be equal with you. I'm a man.
Yeah.
Right? It's a ridiculous premise. I don't know how we have accepted these stupid premises as some type of intelligence or point of discussions. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, so I think that's a major thing that they did on our people. This feminism, this also there's
put it close to your mouth.
This thing about man feeling ashamed to exude their manhood. That anything that is of man is will always associated with childish. Being a child, you being a boy, you playing things of that nature, or you're a male machismo and things of that nature. I remember in the 80s, there was a big thing with action stars, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, all these guys, right? Now you have women beating up 20,000 men in a bar, and things of that nature. You got, obviously a man cannot go into a bar, beat 20,000 men as well. You just spend reality a little bit and things of that nature. But it became a situation that was profound. What the brother said is that men were appointed by the Most High to be the elder of the woman, to be the overseer. He should not abuse it. He should understand that gift that came from God. And that is the thing that we have to learn, that balance. And these things have to be taught, we got workshops and discussions to train the men. And that brother's profound,
Yeah.
Listen.
He can only learn that through the wisdom of the Bible, Gabar.
Absolutely.
Only through the wisdom of the
And
Bible.
that's the reason why they're incarcerating our young brothers, because there's a lot of smart brothers in jail.
Exactly.
That they're destroying, they snatching up. There's a Jews in there.
Yeah.
You understand? They did mistakes and all that, but they taking our young men, 18, 16, putting a felony record. You want to sign here, go home. By the time they're 21, they got all these felonies and things of that nature. But a lot of those brothers are extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
Extremely. I used to work in corrections, so I know this. But go ahead, Elder.
Let me ask you a question. No, the mic is yours. Let me ask you this. When you execute that power that the Most High have given you, and one thing about taking this Bible back and understanding with Israel, we're taking that back, right? We're also taking back the authority that comes with being an Israelite man, right? So a young man or a man can meet a woman and you'll say what your standards are. And automatically you'll have pushback like, well, hold up. You must want one of those weak women. I don't know what you into, but I'm a strong woman. So is there something where a woman who submit, is that the weak woman? Because that's what society is telling us.
Well, I think the society is establishing a thing that when a man approaches a woman, the woman has all the power, right? He's approaching the woman. Can I take you out to dinner? Can I, take you out to a movie, right? She could say no, maybe, let me think about it, and things of that nature, right? But that, and in the beginning, that's always going to be a thing that the man should always approach the sister, right? Go to the father. I want to marry you. Maybe we could court. Whatever. Most people start with a date. Go steady. Then I gotta meet you. You gotta meet my pops, right? You gotta meet my family, right? The woman has all. She's the one that has opened those little doors. Okay, no, you can't stay over tonight. I don't kiss in the first date. She's laying all those rules, right? All those barriers. The guy has
okay,
no
now
barrier.
this was before Hot Girl Summer, though.
Yeah,
but
before Hot Girl Summer, right? The brother has no standards. You notice that? There's nothing that the brother, because the brother's so scared to get rejected, he goes along with everything, right? So now what brothers need to start doing is establishing standards. Because men do not understand the profound respect that they will get from women. He said, listen, sister, before we do this, I'm a man of God. Day one, not what's your favorite color, what's your favorite movie. I'm a man of God, and I need a woman. There's a woman of God.
Man, right there, Gabar, right there. That's all authority right there.
Exactly.
Because she ain't submitting to you now.
She's submitting to the Most High.
She's submitting to the power in you now.
Yeah. See, so God, I said I should write a book about this.
Oh, man, it's deep in itself. Because many people are saying, people wonder, they see a young lady or someone being, and not only that, what I notice, some people in the world, they get offended, even though they have nothing to do with someone else's relationship. They'll be offended seeing a woman in front of them in their proximity submitting to a man.
Yeah.
As if that's affecting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it? Is it affecting them? Automatically you'll see, like, the first thing someone would say is, he must be hitting her.
Exactly.
Right?
She's a beautiful woman.
Must be hitting her because a woman is not supposed to be like this, like the Bible said. He must be abusing her. That's why when submission comes in, it won't take too long before a question in response to to the submission statement is, well, what if he's abusive? You think that's a coincidence? Because you're not supposed to naturally, based on the programming, to have an innate spirit of love and nurturing and submission, be in submission to a man, unless he's putting his fist on you or his foot on you.
Yeah.
That's what they're telling our women. They're telling our women that you cannot be who you naturally are as submissive women unless a man must be doing something wrong to you. So it's offensive because I believe, and I'm going to let you go ahead, I believe more people, when they see it in their proximity, gets offended because it's shining a light. It's shining a light on their evil, on their wickedness. It's shining a light on how far they are from virtue. So they'll look at that and like, I know I wouldn't be saying that to no man. No man deserves that. No, you never been with a man or submitted to a man who deserved it. Those were your choices. Those were your choices. There are righteous, good men out there that are overlooked every day. He may be your so-called nerd or the cornball everybody don't want to talk to right now because he hasn't filled in yet. He's the bookworm. He's the guy he's not the jock. He's not the guy working out. And that's what Fantasia says. She says, listen, that guy can be right there. And this is what the Most High do, because the Most High deals with the underdog. The one that's least desired in the beginning turn out to be the cream of the crops. That's how the Most High deal with the underdog like that. So while you're overlooking this guy thinking he's quiet and shy, 20, 30 years later, you looking at your life and looking at this guy was like, yo, he was on me. I remember he was up on me. Or vice versa. It's because we view through a carnal world eye and not a spiritual eye. We don't see what the Most High see in each other. And sometimes it passes us by. Elder Gabar, I was about to pass it to you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
So I think, land back to what you were saying, Elder, it goes back
Everything
to
good?
a man should not focus on, I want this woman to love me. A man should focus, I want this woman to always respect me. How do I do that? And like I said, going back to the beginning, I'm just going from just a worldly perspective, and of course, all here, you know, when you're in the world, when you was in the world and things of that nature, it was always the woman setting the boundaries. No, you can't stay over tonight. No, this. It was always the guy testing the waters. And eventually, is the woman that what? Okay, let it go. Okay, we're going steady. First, it's always the guy, right? Pushing the boundaries, and it's always the girl, you know, eventually letting loose, you know, little, you know, that tight grip. If we could flip that around, men setting standards. No, I don't think I should go over to your house tonight. That's not proper. You're not my wife. Right? You never hear that. And that's, I think, a profound thing that men have to master. What people need to understand, in men and women, you guys are each other's weaknesses. Right. The strongest man in the Bible, who took him down? Women, right? And it wasn't her fault. She was just there minding her business, right? David was, who is that, right? So understand each other's power, right? And women, right, if a guy has game, right? Deep voice like Elder Lawya. Hey, how you doing? Right? Understand what's gonna happen. You're gonna
hold on. That ain't game. He was born like that. He was born with that.
That's right. He was born with it. Yeah, he was born.
I gotta defend him on that. There ain't no game with that.
Right?
Like, I knew that wasn't his voice. No, that's Lawya. I met him. He was talking like that. He was talking like a grown man at 12.
12, right? Hey, Mom.
But go ahead.
Right?
But go
She
on.
will buckle, right? The knees, right? Your hair stand up at your back of the neck, right? It could be even a beautiful night. But you'll chip away of the respect. Respect is a major thing that man should always strive for. Respect among your peers, respect among your wife, your children. If you lose that, they were gonna always love you. Women love. That's what they do. But if they lose respect for you, it's gonna be very hard to lead that household. So what the brother was saying in the camera, which was profound, is that before I gonna lead, I gotta know these things. I gotta know how to lead. He mentioned the stock market, he knows this, he mentioned that, and things of that nature, because if you don't know, it's like, I remember when my wife and I think I mentioned this before, everything was under her name. I don't know how to do, anything, right? She had to teach me anything. She took the place of my mom, right?
That's society today.
You understand? So then when I became my own, and I had my own, I remember when I had literally broke my own my own phone. I was like 23 or I'm 25 or something. She was like, Carlos, you figure out, I know what I'm doing. She was like my mom. I didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? She just took, she's a little, 3-4 years older than me, so she was a little more, established and things of that nature. So it goes back to that. I was too young to be in a relationship, right? Back then. And I told my wife all the time, I don't know what the heck you sold me, young, crazy guy, right? And things of that nature. But it goes back to respect. A good, profound scripture or book you should go read is the testimony of Issachar. He first got himself established that once you just be in a situation and you meet a woman, you already know the world, how it works. You know how to run a house. You know economics. You know things. Yeah. I suggest men should travel a little bit before they get married. Just get more in tune with your universe, because that is going to bring volume in regards of that woman respecting you. She may think you're cute. She may think you're, whatever. But if she doesn't respect you, it's going to be difficult for you to leave that house. So that's at least I hear with that.
Give it up. Now, I want to say this real quick. And we're going to go into a few scriptures, but I wanted to talk about this in general so that we can actually highlight the hypocrisy of the society we live in today. I wanted to highlight that. And I wanted to say this real quick, right? All of us have voices. All of us. But in reality, and I'm going to say this, right now, in our present time, the woman's voice, in particular for our people, for our people, the black woman right now has the voice that everyone is listening to within our communities. That's the power that's been bestowed on you at this time. And the Most High said this, that a new thing will happen under heaven, that a woman shall compass a man. So there's a dichotomy, there's a conflict going on. On one hand, we have sisters saying, listen, I'm out there. I need defense from you. And that's why I can't submit to you. True. On the other hand, the man is saying, you got the platform. You got the voice that everyone is listening to. You are not upholding me. You are not exalting me. In fact, you're using your position to down me. And it's hard for us to be, I'm looking at it from a societal standpoint, in defense of someone with a political voice right now who's not standing to defend your moral ground with the position that even society has afforded you. When someone is speaking out and degrading who you are and who God made you, Your position is supposed to be used to stand and speak against it. Because you have more authority and a greater voice publicly than the man right now. So when there's a wrong example of what you represent and who God made you is being portrayed, guess what? You're in agreement with it by your silence. All the negative stereotypes that's bringing down the value of who you really are, because it's deep and you have to understand how powerful the media is and the mindset of our young men and women in this society today who's influenced by it. So when there's something happening where women are talking about about thirsty Thursdays and a hot girl summer and this, that, and the other, there should be a unified voice of virtue and righteousness, a political force that everyone can go to hear the counter. I'm not just saying to drown out the wickedness, but where's the balance? Where's the balance? Right now, the women has authority. So you have to exercise that and not be silent, because people are using you, your face, how you look, to misrepresent you, and they have a louder voice than you. Oprah. Right? And I'm saying this because everyone and their mother is up in a roar about what this sister said, and it was only her submitting to God and practicing the values of this book. But yet there's no defense. Elder Lawya, I need you to read this for me real quick. Real quick. We're not going to be long. I'm going to open it up for a few phone calls. I kind of like this form. This is the first time we're doing this. 515-605-9327. And I mean, what society we living in when, and I'm just saying, sisters, understand this. Right now, like I said, according to the Bible, not like I said, according to the Bible, you have a louder voice publicly. The Bible says a woman shall compass a man. You have some say and authority in your position right now to uphold the righteous men, to speak against injustice. Not just to use it when it's in defense of females. That's the feminine movement. I'm only going to stand up when women are being attacked. No, I'm only standing up when righteousness is attacked. See? Because some of these people, sisters, you don't want to align yourselves with. They are dragging down your brand, the people who are representing you. You don't want to align yourself. Hold up, I'm not that female. Okay? But yet they have put all of us in the same pot, sisters and brothers. And by the same token, men can't be in defense of wickedness amongst men. Whatever voice we do have, we need to use it to not just go against it, but to balance the stereotypes that are being portrayed out there on us. Elder Lawya, I need you to read this real quick. And the only thing Fantasia said is what the Bible taught her. And you know what? She has never been happier. She have never. Let's read 1 Peter 3:1. It's nothing like being the kings of the earth and knowing who you are according to the Most High. And getting nothing but disrespect. It was a calculated, diabolical genius plan, knowing that we don't have to do much here. These two together will take all dominion because it was theirs in the beginning. It wasn't just, well, the first man was black or the first bones we found were black. No. Adam and Eve, the first man and woman was black. So the whole deal is this. They was like, yo, if we're going to keep dominion, we have to separate and do the same as that serpent who came between them in the beginning. That's the plan. To keep dominion, the Gentiles must keep Adam and Eve apart. Right? How can we now assume our position as a nation without first obligating ourselves to our original purpose as Adam and Eve, whom the Most High gave dominion to? Anything in between is unnecessary. The battle is not about LBGT, this, that, and the other. All these things were put out there to stop Adam and Eve from getting their original purpose as the kings and queens on earth. Understand that. So our menial issues we have within our nation or within our relationships must be squashed for the greater plan. For the greater plan. Right? I need you to read this real quick, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to have some people, well, I don't believe in the Bible. Okay. You tried it your way, and look at the world. I think you need to try the Bible now. It doesn't work any outside of these rules. Life doesn't work. Right? 1 Peter 3, 1 through 7. Read it, Elder Lawya.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Now look at that. That means even if you have a man who really is not following the word like that, because I hear that out there sometimes. Well, he's not weak. I want a man in the Bible. I need this certain type of man. But no, you will convert him with your, believe it or not, virtue. You will convert him because only thing a man knows is how his woman's treating him. And he was like, if your Bible can have this thing popping off like this on the righteous side of things, where you go to class on what Sabbath? I'm not dealing with no arguments. Everything is right. Everything is good. Even though I'm giving you a hard time, you're still saying, babe, I'm going to be patient with you. I love you. It doesn't matter. You are secure in me. And I'm not doing anything I feel to deserve this. So this thing of, well, I got to be a certain man for me to submit to while you're in a relationship. That's backward. You're in a relationship saying, I got to find a real man only I can submit to. Well, who's that dude you just rolled over with a couple of minutes ago? No, he may not believe everything you believe, but your conversation, because there was something that brought y'all together. Was it the Most High God or was it Satan? You answer that question. There's only two masters. Was it the Most High God or was it Satan? You answer that question. Read on.
Verse 2. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of the plaiting of the hair and of the wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel.
So it's saying to the woman, don't let it be all about your style and what you have on. Don't let that be the all to end all when defining you as a system. Not what pocketbook you got or whether or not you are playing the latest fashion or how your hair is. Well, you know, hey, she's on point. She get her hair done every week. Don't let that be the conversation on you, even if you do get it done every week. Would you know what you want people to say about you concerning you? Listen to this.
Verse 4. But let it be the hidden man of the heart.
Let it be the hidden man of the heart. Read.
In that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit.
With a what?
With a meek and quiet spirit.
A meek and quiet spirit. That's deep in itself. Now, this society defines this woman in the Bible as a weak woman. And there's one person that's silent. Who's the person you better look out for? You understand? Silence says everything. This is the person, it's not a talker. This is the thinker in the room. So it's not about just talking, just to be beating your gums and bringing forth nothing useful in society. Okay? But they'll say, oh, she weak and run all. She don't say nothing. You know what? She's thinking. He's thinking. See? Right? Read on.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God.
But in the sight of God is weak in the sight of men. But in the sight of God,
of great price.
Of great price. If that girl was on YouTube reading everyone and shouting and on the table trying to bounce and all this old stuff, the stereotype of what the society was, people be standing up, oh, fantastic, on girl, you the best, all that. She's not playing her role right now. Submitting, virtue, quiet spirit, giving her mantle and her position, because according to this world, she's everything and this dude's a nobody. He's a nobody according to this world, but not according to her. And guess what? Above her, not according to the Most High. She's the star in the eyes of the world. But guess what? He's the star in the eyes of the Most High, instilling righteousness in her and virtue and respect in her. See? Read.
Verse 5. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands.
So what that means is, on top of looking good, because a man don't want a girl that's not upkeeping herself or a woman that ain't keeping herself. So it's good that you looking good with a nice outward appearance. That's what he love about you. And the ornaments and all that. But there's a key piece. That's the cherry on top of this whole Sunday you just made. The fact that you respect and honor me as your husband. You got to have all that. But this on top of all that, to give all what you did validation in the eyes of God. So it's not just what you have on. On top of that, it's how you treat your other half. It's how you treat him. Read.
Verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
Now, we're not asking no one to run around here, hey, Lord, what you want for breakfast? That's not the case here. Oh, we don't want that. It ain't about that. It's the respect. We've been disrespected long enough. And at least some respect is due from the woman who came from us. Woman is from man. In a feminine society, what would we get touted out there every day is, hey, a man is weak. He can't have a baby. It's us having the men. Well, no. We had you, okay? The woman means from man, pulled out of man. So we got to bring this thing back in order and back in righteous what? Balance. Read.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
Calling him Lord.
Whose daughters ye are.
Whose daughters ye are.
As long as ye do well.
As long as you follow the word of the Most High. As long as you do well in your requirement according to our God. Now, according to this world, you are a weak woman. Right? No, we're reading the strong woman right here. Read.
And are not afraid with any amazement.
And not afraid with any amazement. That means you're not afraid of what they say on the outside. Because they shouldn't have an impact on your relationship anyway. That's your man. What can someone on the outside say? 9 times out of 10, if someone's saying something negative about your relationship, it's because they don't have one. Misery loves company. How many times you done heard all this negative stuff? Oh, man, he's this and he's that and the other. You be like, yeah. I'm thinking about letting them go anyway. And then next thing you know, y'all broken up, and 2 months later, she's walking down the street with him in this world. You never listen to outside noise concerning your relationship. Your obligation is to him and the Most High, and vice versa. I wish somebody would tell me, yeah, you know your woman. Yeah, you better watch. Why she ain't say that when she come downstairs? It's her house. You're in her house. Why didn't you say anything? You sitting there not saying nothing. Why nobody's speaking to me? Be careful when someone else on the outside, and if you need validation about your relationship from someone else, it's time for you to do some real self-examinations there. If you need validation on whether or not, well, I want to know whether or not he's good enough based on, what my girlfriend, if she say, then it's he can be approved. What? All that goes to the Most High. You don't try to get validation for your relationship, because 9 times out of 10, who you're going to will choose wrong for you. You're supposed to go to the Most High to get a validation on whether or not a person is right for you, not a person. How many times you sitting there, you brought a girl growing up in your house, and your mom looking like, yeah, that might be my daughter-in-law right there. Hold up, you done said that 6 times already. You only get validation, brothers and sisters, through the word concerning a relationship. Through the word. I'm not saying you can't hear opinion, but don't let that sway your decisions concerning your husband or your wife. Because at the end of the day, you got to live with that person. You have to live with them. Read on.
Verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands,
You husbands,
dwell with them according to knowledge.
it says, dwell with your wife according to knowledge. You have to know. You have to know who the Most High made in creating a woman. And guess what? It doesn't matter how much you know. You'll learn something new every day. And that's with husbands and wives. It says but it says according to the knowledge of how I made her. There's certain scenarios or certain things, intricate things that you can do to make this work. If you understand what I made in a woman and what I've instilled in her concerning purpose. Right? Listen to this real quick. Read.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
Give honor to the wife as unto a weaker vessel. Now, women are strong. They can hold down the house. They can do what he was saying, balance the book, see outside threats, and calculate and plan before things go down, make sure the bills are paid. So what weakness is he talking about here? We discussed this in the academy last year. The weakness is because the sister made an erroneous decision in the beginning, well, our mother Eve, by going against the man and partaking of that fruit. The Most High put a spirit on the daughters of Eve, in which they would desire their husband more so before making erroneous decisions. And it's what this world would deem a built-in type of insecurity, where she can only get satisfaction and ease if she know that her man and her are good. That's the only time that spirit goes away, when she know we're right. Men don't go through that at all. That's why y'all look at us like, can't you feel what I'm feeling? No. No, I don't. I'm not inconsiderate. I don't feel that. You tell me what the issue is, I fix the issue. I don't feel nothing on that. And it's a shame, but that's what it is. And they're like, man, can't you feel this pain? No, babe, I can't feel it. And there's no love loss here. You feeling that. Tell me what the issue is. I fix issue. That's it. I don't do nothing else. And then I go to sleep. That's it. I don't wake up with it. I don't go to sleep with it. So I'm just giving y'all some understanding. You can't make us feel something that wasn't put in us. And it's not that we're emotionalists and all that. Oh, tap into your feminine side. No, the Most High didn't give us a feminine side. We are 100% masculine. That's what a man is. I am considerate. You know I'm considerate. But listen, someone has to be the balance here and just stay in the middle of these. I can't. So if you seen your man acting out like you do, like you're emotional, you'll be like, man, what's wrong with this guy? You need to know no matter where your emotions go, you got somebody that's right there. Right? It is somebody coming, knocking down the door, coming in the house, and she's trying to get behind you, and then you run and try to get behind her. It doesn't work. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. She knows that, okay, listen, there's going to be an intervention here. And again, you don't have to worry about anything. We both will live tonight. That's masculinity, folks. And see, you have to realize that because that's what the Most High put in man. I don't expect a woman to be that or try to do that. But it's having a respect for each other's strengths. Right? Finish reading.
Verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Dwell with them according to knowledge. Read.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
Understand that she go through some emotions monthly. Sometimes she feels if there's something wrong, she's going to multiply that by 10 and feel that until that feeling goes away. Period. She's going to deal with it. If there's an issue, she's going to think on that issue until the issue is solved. If it's us, we're going to solve the issue. That's it. That's it. We're not thinking on it. We ain't solving it. Sometimes you see us and be like, what are you doing 3 a.m? We trying to just fix something. That's what we do. And she's like, the things I'm dealing with in my mind is the important stuff that you're not on it like that. What I'm dealing with emotionally, it's just that what we're focused on, we fix. I know women like, that's not, it should be all what I'm dealing with. Right? I see y'all faces like, well, hold up. Something is wrong with men. We don't think like that. Yes, because I'm a man and you are a woman. And it's okay. He didn't make 2 women to be together. And he didn't make 2 men to be together. He made a balance. With strengths on either side that makes a whole. That creates a whole. See? Go ahead. Come on, Elder Lawya. Let's finish it up. Where you at?
Yes, sir. The rest of verse 7.
Come on.
And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Be heirs together. That means a plan together with what?
Being heirs together of the grace of life.
Of the grace of life. Listen here, because why? We're both living under grace. Based on the things we've done in our lives, even before meeting each other, according to the Old Testament, we've done things unto death. This relationship is a grace relationship right now. This is a grace relationship. Christ gave us grace. Through his blood, we have an opportunity in our purpose to fulfill our roles as Adam and Eve. Right? Finish reading.
That your prayers be not hindered.
That your prayers be not hindered. Now, why did the Most High say that you do your side, either side, or your prayers are hindered? Why? When 2 people have a plan together and the Most High is in it, when 2 or more are together under the Most High, Christ is in the midst. That plan is fulfilled through that spirit. If you begin to argue at each other, your thoughts are against each other. So in essence, you're praying against each other. And that's stunting the progression of the relationship because you're not praying for the same purpose. You're now against each other. So your thoughts are against each other. And the angels are sitting back that would normally minister and do the work to fulfill your purpose and staying back and waiting for you all to stop bickering and finish your purpose. Now, if y'all pray together, Christ says, send the angels. Okay, they want to do this together, do that together, do that together. They're together. I'm down with this. We can fix this. We can fulfill this in them because why? where two or more together, Christ is in the midst. He sent me to help them fulfill their purpose together. So you're hindering your own prayer. I don't know why things just don't work sometimes. It seems like things are in the way. And could it be this attitude? This what I'm hearing right now? On either side? See? Or your prayers will be hindered. But there's something, and I would say a cursed spirit that is being perpetuated in our community. And I'm going to end it with this because I only got 30 more minutes before we have to break down. We have a 10 o'clock window. I'm going to open up some phone calls, and I know y'all going to hear that, and then you can answer to some of this. There's a cursed spirit going on within our community. Right? It's something that's going on with the men, and it's a spirit that's being enabled by the women. And this is where this circular blame goes around, keeping us on either side of our promise and purpose. Right? Let's talk about this curse real quick. That's on the men, that's being enabled by the woman. Elder Lawya, I need you to get Sirach 25 and 22 and the Ecclesiasticus real quick.
All right, we're in the Apocrypha, Sirach 25, verse 22.
And mind you, this wisdom, you can get free. You buy yourself an Apocrypha and read the wisdom in the Apocrypha, okay? And I know sometimes people have what you would call a healthy counselor, somebody come in, bring the wisdom on either side and all that. No, let's hear what the Most High have to say. Right? Let's read it real quick.
Yes, sir. Sirach 25, verse 22.
Come on.
A woman,
if
she maintain her husband,
if she maintains her husband,
is full of anger.
Is full of what?
Is full of anger.
Is full of anger.
Impudence.
Impudence.
And much reproach.
This woman walks around angry all day. Because she maintained her husband, because in the spirit, she realized she's working out of position. So this is the example that once this societal curse is actually perpetuated in our society, what society does is get cameras and stick a camera on the end result of this curse to say, well, this is what a black woman is. This is what a black man is. We'll only promote or show a black man is if he's deadbeat and irresponsible. We'll only show a black woman who's holding it down and is willing to go public and complain about the deadbeat and the unfit black man. This doesn't exist on earth with any other race. It doesn't exist. It's a curse that men are doing that's being perpetuated by women. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Women have to understand the power they have in this society. Under that, a woman shall surpass a man. You'll meet a guy, he's cute, potential, got all that. And it goes to what Elder Gabar was saying earlier. You'll excuse all the things that down the line you will one day complain about. You'll excuse the fact, because it's all new and he's nice and he's cute, that he's smoking weed, playing PlayStation or video games all day, irresponsible from job to job, and you'll go think in your mind that, you know what, I'm a good woman and I can work with that. I can help them through that. But you've chosen from the beginning to maintain a man. You've taken on a curse. Yeah. No, you're dealing with things that the mama wouldn't even deal with. That's why she put him out. So now, you're mad now because the newness is gone, and you must maintain this guy. Then you start pushing him and say, listen, I wouldn't grab some applications. You want me to go online with you and deal with some applications? And he's looking at you, his eyes bloodshot red, looking at you. Like, that's not the deal here. You're like, why? You need to do something with your life. Why don't you do something? And then on the other hand, now you're complaining about a no good man on this other side now. A few kids then came out of it, and now you're working 2-3 jobs. You're looking at it like, what? These men are no good. And then society, guess what? They're having a laugh on either side, laughing at Adam and Eve. On either side. The whole thing is, if a woman maintaineth her husband, she's filled with anger. Because she sees the potential in this man and what he could be. But the whole thing is, she should have had patience to know, listen, if this man is not willing to step up initially, he cannot have my body. My body will always be here. It's my body. But the aged used to work to get from point A to point B. And I'm not going to marry something and have children out of a product of a man that I got to take care of. And I'm going to be angry, and the world is going to show me for something I'm not. I'm not angry. I'm not a bad person. But the world will perpetuate and promote this. And now this is the example of what a black woman is. So the Bible even says, if you maintain, and that's what the brother said. The brother came right at the men and said, listen, a man have to be 2-3 steps ahead of the game. And this is a man a woman will submit with. 4. You have to fear the Most High. And that hedge that's over the man. How can a woman submit to a man? Well, guess what? She's witnessing his submission to God. She's learning how to submit through him. You understand?
You might. I got
right?
Listen, just like this. And this dealing with the church, right? We got rules, right? In the church, 3 months courting process. You gotta go to the Father, right? All that. You guys done the pre-baptism lesson, right? If the woman sees you breaking those rules, right? She may submit because she likes you. She doesn't want to lose you. You got to understand, you each other's weakness. So I remember I said that before. But she'll lose that respect. So the day you're going to try to establish some rules in your house, well, you didn't follow the rules of the church. What? Yeah, why should I follow you? You said to the president. So it goes back to, let me tell you something. It's called, what I call is righteous manipulation. If you establish, like, no, we're going to, these are the rules of the church, we're going to do it, and things of that nature. And listen, she may even try to see if you actually will follow those rules. I see it. That's the reason why she laughed, the sister up in there, because they will test. See how far. You understand? But the minute you become a pillar and say, okay, this guy is not budging. All right, I'm going to follow this guy. You lead by example. I just want to lead with that.
Brother, hey, bring it out. And I'm saying this because why? Brothers and sisters, this is what I'm saying. And I hear what this sister's saying right here, that's bringing a chat. A lot of people are bringing some good insight and saying, you know what, this conversation, this real talk, this tabernacle talk, these are the conversations we must have. And one thing someone put out there, and that can't be disagreed with, saying, well, the women that's making these decisions are a product of being raised without a father who would instill that morality and honor and protection, right? And you know what? I'm going to say to one degree it's correct, but when, at what time in any of our lives that the things we talk about that can't be changed become excuses? At what point do we say, well, okay, because you can't live the rest of your life based on what happened to you growing up? At what point you can grow from that and say, well, okay, I'm a product of that, but that doesn't define me. At what point we use our upbringing as an excuse not to better ourselves. And I'm saying this because we have something, and I know a lot of us wasn't raised in the greatest of homes, and we wasn't raised under the Huxtable's house, right? But we have something greater. I don't think a father on earth had more wisdom than what's in this word right now. Ever. Because there is a father who have never forsaken us. See, but the world would like us to focus on the negatives, because if you focus on the negatives, what product comes from it? Negative. Excuses. We can't change our upbringing, but we can make our choices based on our forefathers who were there for us. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Isaiah, Jeremiah, on and on and on and on and on. Christ. See? Read that last piece again, then I'm going to open it up for a few calls. We only got 15 minutes before closing. Read.
Yes, sir. Sirach chapter 25, verse 22.
Read it.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
And much reproach. And these are the women that are being promoted and be given reality shows and all that, being shown as the examples. These are the people they have representing you. So it's upon us to show who we really are. It's upon us. And I know people say, and sometimes we say this, well, there's dysfunctions with white people and other people in other nations and all that. It's not just, but listen, the Bible tells us that judgment will first start in the Most High sanctuary. It starts with us. Regardless of what the other people, we can't use that as an excuse to stay low by saying they're doing it too. They weren't given the law. We were. So they're doing it too cannot be our excuses going forward. Because that means what? You're settling for less than what the Most High promised us. You're settling for what the world is by saying, well, they doing it too. Well, they're Gentile. They're in a Gentile state of mind. And these Gentiles in the Gentile state of mind ain't following Christ. That's not a badge of honor saying they're doing it too. (515-605-9327). I'm going to open it up real quick. Husbands, wives, and everything in between. I'm going to try. Sister Shirley laughing. Yeah, your mind go wandering on that, but everything in between. It shouldn't be anything else, right? Man and woman, that's it. Welcome to Babylon. 515-605-9327. We have someone from the 406 area code. 406 area code. Let me bring you in, and I hope everyone can hear you. Check, check. All right, let me bring. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. Talk to me, young man.
You live.
Okay, how you doing, Elder?
I don't think they can hear you.
Hello, how you doing, Elder?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm listening to you to the show tonight, and the whole respect thing is biblical, and it goes both ways. I know the woman should submit to the man, but at the same time, in some ways, the man should, humble himself and listen to the wisdom of his wife for the betterment of the relationship. And I know how society is right now. It's kind of hard for people to find their places, so to speak. And some women, this whole I guess feminist movement or whatever, pretty much got them out of line. So, but at the same time, we got a lot of brothers that don't know how to be men and don't know how to be leaders. So, but I know.
Okay, I got a question for you. We got a lot of brothers that don't know how to be leaders, right? Why are women choosing these brothers?
Yes, sir. Pretty much, well, when I was more into the world or whatever, it would be more so just because what you could bring to the table, how you can make them feel, or how, your looks, or, but it wasn't off of godly principles. So pretty much, when you get a real woman and you got a real man and you got a real relationship, but if you got, a man that's in the world, he on the track, women that's in the world.
Okay, brother, great point. Give it up for the brother. And I want to say this. I'm going to tell you, we may have to do a part 3 down the line somewhere, but you notice that question be skirted around, right? When it's okay to talk about the brother, but it's not okay to talk about who's choosing these so-called men everyone is complaining about. Everyone wants to skirt around that. Right? There's a reason these men are being chosen over good men, too. Go ahead, Elder Gaja.
Hey, check this, Elder, right? In certain customs and cultures within Israel, you can't just choose a wife or a husband like that. It must come through man and wife, mother and father first, the dowry. So culturally, why? A man comes up, he's not ready, he can't maintain a wife, he's not able to maintain, so the decision comes to the father. He screens him, make sure that he's what he says he is. You understand? And I think that as a church, as a nation of people, we need to go back to that. When our sisters want to find husbands or whatever, it should come through the elders of the church first. You with me? Or you understand? Meaning, okay, a man can sweet talk a woman, but no man can sweet talk me. You understand? No man can come sweet talk me and tell me nothing, like, All right. All right, so how we going to maintain this? Well, I have a plan. Okay, what's the plan? You understand? And that's why you look at, like, you go back into the dowry. The dowry situation was set up. A man wants to marry a woman. He goes to the father and has to come correct to the father. Can't come tell the father no stories. So it eradicates, it helps a decision, making family.
Yeah, and one thing that people should do when they are considering to marry somebody within the church, which I support, you should have a conversation with people that have labor with them. Talk to the elders. Talk to the elder sisters of the church and things of that nature. talk to the people that have been laboring with them, because this is the person, because they could give you a different perspective that you perhaps not seeing, because you may be blinded by his dimples, right? And his cute, Asian eyes, and
like
right.
like
so you have to get a different perspective, like Elder Rawchaa mentioned. Nobody's gonna sweet talk us.
Yeah.
You understand? So they could give you the real perspective. Go ahead, Elder.
And the question that Elder Rawchaa asks is that, okay, why these women keep choosing these deadbeat dudes? Why? Nobody answer that to them. Like a woman said, well, I won't submit to a righteous man. Well, I won't submit if he's not following the Most High. Then why choose him in the first place then? Why put yourself in that situation? You with me? Did you not know he's not following the Most High from the beginning? So why complain in this scenario? You with me? And we this is something that we have to be real with. You with me? Our sisters, the union of man and woman is a serious thing. So all right then, let us deal with it where both sides are protected. And we're not in a situation where we have a sister maintaining her husband and she's angry. And a brother going, well, I got a wicked woman. You with me? You understand what I'm saying? So let us deal with it from that. And I missed earlier with when you was asking for the elders' comment on what Fantasia said. Yeah. Right? Check this out. Where are the scoffers right now saying, look at this example here of a brother coming out of prison, changing his life, following the Most High, and as his wife in subjection to the Most High? Where are the scoffers?
Yeah, where are the complainers? Where are the people talking against Israelites at?
Yeah, where are they? Where are they right now saying look at this example? And they look at every negative example and then bring up a video on it. You know, not going off of the beat, but there was a situation in the UK about a year ago where a girl died, allegedly died or got murdered. And that became the focus of what she believed in. You with me? I just watched a murder on TV. Why nobody not talking about what church this dude went to? Or what church he came out of? Why nobody not talking about that?
Or what synagogue he came out.
You with me? Or mosque. Why nobody not talking about that? But it's looking at God's people right now and seeing the awakening happening. And things are changing. They can't stereotype you no more. They can't call you thugs and drug dealers no more. They can't do it. Brothers,
they would like to.
Yeah, brothers coming out of witchcraft. Men taking responsibility with family. Man and woman. So we are now a threat. Christ said that we're going to be counted with the transgressors. They are looking at us as terrorists, as transgressing. But, nobody is highlighting the positives. What's going on positively for the people. The change. We're coming off drugs. You know much of us on drugs? You know how much of our sisters been done wrong? Brothers as well been done wrong. Sister telling me a situation about her brother the other day. He got raped by the principal. Right? You with me? So a lot of situations are changing right now. We're homeschooling our children. You with me? Our children, they don't have free range over our children anymore. We're not taking the vaccines no more. We're not supporting the holidays anymore. Christmas losing a whole lot. So all of these things are happening positive. Nobody highlighting that. Like what did Fantasia say that was wrong? What was wrong? What caused a backlash? What caused it? Wow, what are you backlashing about?
Because a sister, a black woman growing up in the hood, isn't supposed to be virtuous and submissive according to the Most High. That's not the example this world know concerning you. It's wrong. It's negative. That's not who you are. She is what Israelite women always were. And it's not promoted through media. I just wanted to put that out there. Yes. Oh, Sister Shirley wanted to say something. Go ahead, Sister Shirley. You can come back real quick. Go ahead, sister. No, just give her a microphone.
Okay.
Put it to your mouth now. There you go.
I'm really, really enjoying everything that you guys are saying up there. But Elder Gabar threw out something earlier, and that was that the woman needs to respect the man. And so I would like to hear from the 5 of you elders what you consider respect.
Good question. Good question. I would say, and I'm gonna relate it to each of those, right? I would say the first level of respect is honoring a man as the Most High intended, right? Like, for instance, today me speaking with all of you, I hit some hot button topics that all of us have talked about, some things that's taboo, that will lead to brawling arguments and all of that. But in respect, this has been what? A breakthrough, a spiritual, I would call resolution, because we're now listening to each other. So I would say, when it comes to respect, right, the Bible tell you how loud words are to a quiet man. It's like a man, an old man trying to walk uphill. A sandy hill. He's walking and can't get up. That's the example in the wisdom of the Most High. So sometimes when a man is dealing with something, to say, you know what? I'm not going to compile it or compound it with adding words that can make this situation already harder on him. That's respect. And sometimes a person can think, if you keep emphasizing, any of us, or women, all through relationships growing up, women will say something and say, you listen, not realizing the effect it's having on the man negatively. Because the Bible says many words from a woman, it's like an old man trying to travel up a sandy hill. It becomes that. It becomes weight on him. And now this is the same man you expect to carry the responsibility of your house. So the respect comes with loving words, respectful words, even in disagreement. Even in disagreement. That's respect. Honor me and respect me, knowing that I would never talk to you like this. And know that this relationship isn't getting better if I'm being talked to disrespectfully. Because why? I'm talking about just men of the Most High. All men, especially men of the Most High, have worked not to be on the receiving end of it. Not being perfect, you understand, but that's a form of disrespect. How we speak to each other. Right? I'm just going to pull out one, and I can pull it out to the next elder what he would claim disrespect. Lawya haven't said much. Say something, young man. Someone says the volume is very low. Hard to hear you. Go on.
All right. It's a scripture I wanted to read here in respect to the question, which was a very good question. And I think also the first answer was a very great answer.
Well, I'm just giving one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well,
in that one, you, yeah.
Just all things of, because men, you understand, and it's not personal. It's what I hear online. It's what I see. It's what I see. Women don't know how we have to deal, the backlash we have to deal with, how we're being presented before the world by our women. They don't even understand the impact. That makes society think that they can do whatever they want to do to us. That they can kill us and take us down because our backbone is just slandering us publicly. So it's not just, I'm not talking about from a personal aspect, from a communical aspect. It's disrespect. Well, go ahead, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. I'm going to read this real quick. And again, there's many points, many different things we can.
Lawyer Mike is the only one loud enough for them to hear.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll switch. Okay.
I'll speak with your mic.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So let's go to the book of Matthew, the 7th chapter. Okay. And this relates to something we read earlier in relation to ultimately our responsibility as both men and women. And we read this in the book of 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Understanding that we are joint heirs of the kingdom. It's not one versus the other. We're not vying or jockeying for position in the kingdom. We're trying to enter the kingdom together as one. That's the ultimate mission. Okay? So I want to bring more light to that in respect to your question as far as what are some of the things that we view as respect. Okay? Let's go to the book of Matthew 7. If you can read this, Bishop Amaf, 7 and 24.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock.
Read on.
Verse 25, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not.
Now, what did Christ say? Did Christ says, if the rains come, if the storm come? He said, when it comes. So we understand that in this relationship, in this journey that we're taking together to be joint heirs of the kingdom, there will be trials and tribulations. There will be adversity. And one thing that could be seen as disrespect is not trusting. And of course, we know that trust is a process. You don't just give trust over to anyone. But if an answer is being given or if a solution is being given, you may not necessarily see or agree with the solution, but at least respect the solution and try to see it through before speaking down or talking down on the solution and bringing more so the emotional, you understand, response to solving any issue, okay? Because as Christ said, these trials and tribulations will come. The rain is going to come. But as long as we stay on Christ as the foundation, we will make it through regardless of what is placed in front of us. Right? Read on.
Yes, sir. Verse 25 again. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
So because it was founded on Christ, it stood. Right? But let's see the alternative. Okay? Let's see when we bring the alternative to dealing with situations according to the foundation that Christ set, okay? According to solutions as Christ would bring those particular solutions and trusting in the solutions that Christ would bring.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand.
So this is what we are trying to avoid in a relationship. We're trying to avoid building a relationship on false foundations. Foundations such as what's in the bank account, what kind of car are you driving, how big is the house, how do you look, what kind of clothes do you wear, things of that nature. These are all things that people build their relationships upon in the world. And this also can be perceived as disrespect when, not to say that we shouldn't desire nice things and good things for ourselves and to do better for ourselves, but when our relationship or our life is viewed through the lens or through the eyes of, we don't have this. Why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Why can't you be more like this person who has this and has that? That can be seen as disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 27. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
So in closing, ultimately, as we seek to build our foundation upon that rock, which is Christ, understanding that adversity will come, okay? There will come time in which there's financial adversity, okay? Many things that may damage or may seem damaging and irreparable to a relationship. We have to always revert back to the foundation of Christ and not allow ourselves to get out of the understanding that we're not enemies. We're only seeking to be joint heirs of God's kingdom. That's our ultimate mission.
All right. He wanted to say, what is the example of respect, of disrespect? What is that example?
Yeah, that when I mean, Elder Lawya touched on it. You touched on it, right? But this is an example for me, Sister Shirley, right? Would you treat Christ like that? That's just a simple way to break it down. Would you treat, okay, would you deal with Christ like that? Anything you're thinking about right now, would you have done it? Would you do that to Christ? And what would be his reaction? So that's the gauge of respect. When you go into the book of Peter's here, 1 Peter's 2. Let me read it. I just had it right here. Where am I? 2:21. It says here, for even hereunto you were called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. So just ask yourself, okay, what would Christ do? Or could I speak to the Messiah like this? Could I do this to the Messiah? Would it be acceptable? And I think that's a great grounds to find what is respect or disrespect. You with me? Because sometimes some people come with disrespect always isn't an angry tone, Sometimes you have them subtle words, but that's a diss. That's shady. What you doing? You get me? No, it's shady. And it's, but I never said anything bad. Yeah, but would you have said that to the head? You understand? How would you do that? Would you have said that? Would you have done that to Christ? So sometimes we have to gauge it like that. That's a gauge. Could I have spoken to my head like that? 1 Corinthians 11 says that the head of every man is Christ. And the head of the woman is the man. So could I have gone to my head like that? Just think, it's right there, Just think about what you're saying. Think about what you're doing. Is it, what would the Messiah do if I did that to him? Would he be happy? What would Christ do if Christ caught me here like this? Would it be right? And I think these are easy grounds, because we know every man and woman in here knows when he's being respectful or disrespectful. We know what is acceptable. You with me? Even the heathens them know. Even people who don't follow the scripts know. Gentiles in the mind know what is respectful and what is disrespectful. We know it. You understand me? When you go into 1 Corinthians 11, right? It says the husband is the head of the man. The husband is the head of the woman, right? No head. No. Christ is the head of the man. Am I equal to Christ? No. He's my head. I'm not equal to him. Can I run my mouth to my head? Can I? I can't. You with me? 1 Corinthians 15 tells you that Christ is going to put everything over to the Father, and he himself is going to be subjected to the Father. So he has a head. Christ said, I came not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. So he's not on his own program. You understand me? So I look at that and say, okay, these are grounds that we can, things that we can look at and go, what is respect, what is disrespect? Because we know what it is. Would the Messiah, would this be acceptable to the Messiah? And that's it.
1 second. You have it, Elder? All right, shalom.
Okay, don't praise. I'll be quick, and Sister Shirley, these questions, right? Give me a day, give me an hour, 5 or 6 or 7 hours on the subject. But I'll be quick. I'm just going to read one scripture, and then I'm going to, kind of expound. I'm in Ecclesiastes, in the scriptures, in the Bible, not the Apocrypha. It's just simple scripture. Chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens. What is that? Why I led with the scripture? Timing is everything, sisters, with a man. A man is an island, and we are hardwired a certain way. So when you are interviewing a man that's a potential husband, or you in a relationship already with a husband, or what have you, you got to know his timing, right? And like I said, I would never ask of somebody to do something that I don't do. I studied Elder Rawchaa, his timing, when he's in a good mood, when he's in a bad mood, when he was dealing with a lot of stress. And I said, okay, now is not the time to bring these 15 things because he's dealing with 15 other things, right? I know he's hungry. Okay, let him go eat first. And then maybe I could get 3 out of the 15, and the next week I do another 3. You understand? Everything is timing. Because let me give you the knowledge on that, sisters, right? You want the best result for your effort, right? So if you approach your husband in the morning, he's not a morning person, right? He's more, cheerful at evening or the time when he came off, playing basketball, or time when whatever, your husband, you live with this man. Timing is everything. You get a lot more done if you master that. If you go into, and going line back into about disrespect, and say, okay, I got these 27 things I got to talk to him right now because they're important to me, and if he doesn't listen to me because he doesn't love me, right? And you don't appreciate me, and you don't love me, and you don't, things of that nature, you're going to get 0 of those 27, 37, or whatever number of list things you need to listen. You're going to get 0. So timing is you master that. Master the person, and every place that I go, and I told these things to brothers, in every job I ever had, I found out who's in charge. I study them, and I get close to them. I figure out who's the shot caller here. Okay, let me see how he or she operates. Let me get what they want, and I give them what they want and things of that nature. With Elder Rawchaa myself, when him and I began to build a relationship and things of that nature, for the first 4 years, it was always whatever you need, Elder Rawchaa, whatever you need. Okay, things of that nature. I had things that I wanted to say, but that was not the timing. So imagine the first few conversations with Elder Rawchaa, I was already criticizing. I was like, we should do this, we should do that. I think the church should do this. Like, who's just doing the phone? You got to build that rapport because men, we're islands. We let you in, we let you out. We kick you out the island, we bring you back in the island. That's how we are. You got to be in that island and then in things of that nature. And pace those 27, 37 things that you have to talk to about increments. Let's do 3 here, let's do 3 there, 1 over here. And you may not get all of it, everything you want, but when you look down, if you approach it that perspective, you could get most of the stuff that you want to get, rather than you need to hear these 27 or 37 points right now. You understand? Because if you don't do this, if you don't listen to me right now, you don't love me. He's going to shut down. Okay, go ahead, Elder.
Let me tell you, I'm going to give him a round of applause, but you don't want to give him a round of applause, what? I'm going to give him a round of applause because I'm listening to this, and I'm like, you know what? He's speaking for all of us here. I'm like, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, women definitely understand women. But this is what you can't sleep on. Men understand men. So the whole deal is, how do we get to understand each other? And that's what Satan been running interference with all these alphabet groups and new examples and new definitions of marriage. We have to understand who we are, our very existence, which created all of us. Keep in mind, it's becoming extinct. If marriage is gone, it's over. There's no life. All life came from Adam and Eve. And our very existence is in the balance. That's why we can have all these conversations. And that's why in the midst of the abrasive conversations we had, which led to tonight's talk, it's like it comes a time where these ills that have been destroying us internally, that we've been allowing to destroy us internally, these taboo conversations, we can't talk about them, but yet we're allowed to let these demons fester and destroy the institution of marriage at the same time, to the point where nothing is taboo anymore. We have to call out what's wrong that the men are doing and the women are doing. An open conversation without the threat of pushback or feedback. Who we are as a family, as husbands and wives, that institution is in the balance. They're killing marriage on purpose because it's the beginning of all life, folks. So it's not even about blame. It's about understanding each other. It's not about blaming each other. If I say something that's wrong, it's not that I'm complaining. You understand? The same vice versa. If we point out something is wrong, we're not complaining. We're considering each other, learning, and understanding each other. And I'm going to tell you this, there's a lot of taboo subjects. But these taboo subjects are hidden demons that every day we allow to fester in our communities, we're losing our children with ignoring them. So it's no more about talking about what I didn't have and how I grew up and it led to my dysfunction or insecurity. It's now living righteously so my children don't have to go through the dysfunctions and insecurities. That's where we are right now. Or we'll continue like the sister eloquently stated publicly. Don't you understand what we're going through is a generational curse? Who are we waiting to be born out of us to break it? Who are we waiting for to change it? So I'm glad you asked that question. And I'm glad other people are speaking freely and saying, well, because what I do normally could be disrespect to you. Right? So we need to know, and I'm glad he was able to quantify it, Elder Gabar, by saying, we got to know who we're in this fight with and who the Most High have linked us to, and know when it's time to ask questions or to bring this forth or whatever the case is. You understand? Now, we're beyond the time already. We got to pray out. We have to pray out. But before we pray out, because someone was waiting and said, it's only one phone call I have to do, and then after this, we'll pray out. And hey, have we had a good conversation this evening in Tabernacles? Husband, wives, and everything in between. Man, I got some other stuff I want to talk about in another program. Next week's program, and I want you, sister, to talk about this. Okay? Here's another thing. Women are under fire right now because you are not acknowledging another faction of women who has now have been recognized by the world government as women. Y'all under fire right now. And we're going to have that conversation next week. Woo! Hey, I'm going to hold tight on that. All right, let's hear this one phone call. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to get heated. And guess what, y'all? And I'm glad the venom is not going to be towards men. Well, not these type of men. The regular guys. Lawya said, you see, you get what I'm saying, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some broadcasts lined up for you all. And I want to say real quick that the Hebrew Bible Academy, we're going into that. You have to support that this Sunday if you haven't in it. You ain't in it. We're going into tracing the serpent seed. And then the next week, we're going into man and woman and the fall of man. You got to be a part of this, folks. If you're not, send an email to gatheringas1@AOL.com. Go to historytimes.org. gatheringofchrist.org. I'm telling you want to be a part of this, okay? You don't want to miss this. But anyway, here, let me get this one phone call in. All right. And I guess this will come through the speaker. And this is someone from the 318 area code, last call through Blog Talk. Husbands, wives, and everything in between. Shalom. You're live. Okay, this isn't good at all. Hello? Yeah, the phone isn't good right now, sister. Okay, it's better now? All right, say something now. Hello? Okay, so this concludes this week's broadcast. Hello?
Hello?
Okay. This concludes this week's. I'm going to try one more again now. Hello?
I'm here.
Yo, I can hear you now, sister. You there? Okay, so you was asking me to give you some examples of disrespect, right? Husbands, wives, and everything in between. All praises be to the Most High. This concludes our broadcast this Wednesday. May the Most High be with you all. We're going to pray out. We're going to pray out, and we're going to, I can need to break some bread, get some more of that food y'all got working.
And after we pray
have
out,
a few conversations
we're
here.
going to have some announcements, so please don't go nowhere. It's going to take